It's Thursday, March 20. In the headlines, opposition responds to government's $1 billion allocation for tackling electricity theft. In business news, Grace Kennedy to become full owner of Key Insurance. Regionally, Caribbean Development Bank unveils a plan to support resilience amid global shifts. And in sports, Jamaican athletes ready to spark medal rush at World Athletics Indoor Championships in Nanjing. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Opposition leader Mark Golding called for the decriminalization of illegal electricity consumption in certain cases, citing what he describes as low incomes and high energy costs as significant factors contributing to the issue. He addressed the matter during his contribution to the budget debate this week. While addressing the government's plans to allocate funds for the first 20,000 new customers joining JPS's prepaid electricity program, Mr. Golding argued that the amount would fall short of addressing the full extent of electricity theft.
$1 billion is not enough to make the level of impact that is needed. At $50,000 per household, this will only extend to 20,000 households, which is roughly 300 households per constituency. And that will really barely scratch the surface. The survey of living conditions indicates that there are 1 million households in Jamaica, but there are only approximately 700,000 residential customers on the grid.
Instead, Mr. Golding is proposing the decriminalization of illegal electricity consumption in certain cases where low-income residents reside.
We see it as a crucial socio-economic imperative to decriminalize the electricity consumption of the many Jamaicans who cannot afford to undertake the process of regularization on their own. We are determined to empower these otherwise upstanding citizens to become lawful customers of the utility. It will reduce the risk of electrical fires, which are prevalent in many communities. It will provide a recognized proof of address to open bank accounts and for other processes of inclusion in society, and it will reduce the losses that push up the price of electricity for Jamaica's other customer base.
Mr. Golding says the People's National Party would establish an electricity empowerment program.
The program will cover the cost for low-income households to regularize their electricity connections, rewiring, inspection, certification, provide the incentive of a credit against their light bills for a period after they become customers, and provide their homes with solar panels to reduce their electricity bills and build climate sustainability. Solarizing homes in these communities will make their electricity consumption more affordable.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness is set to make his contribution to the debate on Thursday afternoon. He's expected to further explain some of the planned programs for this fiscal year and also respond to matters addressed by the previous speakers. The government is investing approximately $156.7 billion into the Ministry of National Security for the 2025-2026 financial year. The investment is being made to finance the ministry's mandate to maintain law and order and protect the nation from internal and external threats. Here's a breakdown of how the monies will be spent.
To maintain law and order and protect Jamaica from internal and external threats, the government is investing approximately $156.7 billion into national security for the 2025-2026 financial year. From the combined budget, $154.86 billion will go to the recurrent expenses and $1.83 billion to capital projects. The finishing touches will be added to the forensic pathology autopsy suite in the new fiscal year, with $85 million earmarked to outfit the facility with equipment and for goods and services. Construction was completed in 2024 and the opening is scheduled for June 2025. When commissioned into operation, the unit will increase the forensic capacity of the Jamaica Constabulary Force (JCF) and reduce the backlog of criminal and other cases.
When this autopsy suite is finished, it will be one of the finest forensic institutes in the Western Hemisphere and provide the best quality service that we can give.
The ministry will also be spending $1 billion on the Westmoreland Police Divisional Headquarters. Ground was broken for the facility in March 2024, and work is expected to reach 50% during the fiscal year, with completion set for March 2027. The new headquarters will further integrate state-of-the-art security technologies in alignment with e-policing initiatives. It is also expected to facilitate improved response times and interactions with citizens, as well as enhance police presence in the division to promote public order. Construction will begin on another police divisional headquarters, St. Catherine North. The modern fit-for-purpose three-story building will span approximately 43,000 square feet.
This new headquarters in the St. Catherine North Division is more than just a construction project. It is a tangible step in the ongoing transformation and modernization of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. We all recognize that a transformed and modern JCF is essential in tackling the challenges associated with ensuring public safety and citizen security.
This year's budgetary allocation of $700 million is expected to bring the project to 30% completion. It's being executed under the Ministry of National Security's Project Rebuild, Overhaul and Construct ROC initiative. All three capital projects are financed by the government. Another investment that will make a significant impact on policing is the $19.58 million for the Security Strengthening Project. With funding from the Inter-American Development Bank, the objective of the project is to increase the conviction rate for murders in Jamaica. Already, network equipment has been installed to connect agencies across the JCF. Case management and station records management systems have also been completed, as well as a jail management software. Computer equipment was also delivered to the National Police College of Jamaica. In the new financial year, work to be undertaken include audits and evaluation of the project.
This is a clear testament to the government's dedication to strengthening the security apparatus of our nation. This variety of assets underscores a clear understanding of modern policing realities.
The Jamaica Environment Trust, JET, is sounding the alarm over a recent pollution incident in the Rio Cobre, saying it mirrors previous fish kills linked to bauxite effluent. The details from Denida Rodney in this report.
Dr. Teresa Rodriguez-Moody, CEO of Jamaica Environment Trust, JET, is urging the government to implement a real-time water quality monitoring system at the Rio Cobre in St. Catherine.
We are continuing to call on the government of Jamaica to, one, provide clear and transparent updates on its investigation and outline concrete steps to prevent further pollution of this vital waterway. Two, we are continuing to call on the government of Jamaica to enhance monitoring of the Rio Cobre by establishing a real-time water quality monitoring system right throughout along the length of the Rio Cobre in different sections that continuously tracks pollution levels and provides early warnings of contamination.
This call comes despite repeated promises of new safeguards to prevent such spills. Dr. Rodriguez-Moody says this incident raises questions about preventative measures and accountability.
This recurring environmental disaster, it raises serious questions about the effectiveness of pollution prevention measures and accountability for those responsible. When we received the reports that some heavy rainfall had taken place about an hour or so, which preceded the incident, we felt like this was not enough to trigger a spill. And so it really suggests that whatever preventative measures are in place remain inadequate.
Meanwhile, Leonard Francis, CEO of the National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPL, says the agency is continuing its investigation into the pollution incident.
Based on our pH reading, the water is back to normal, right? Based on our readings, okay? Based on the readings we did, it could be used. But if you're just, what you could do is that I think we want to, for tomorrow, we just want to do some final checks, and then we will be definitely able to say that. But based on our preliminary assessment, everything, it's back to normal based on our preliminary assessment. Where we are as well is that we have not concluded our investigation. We are 3/4 there.
Mr. Francis says NEPA has notified residents along the Rio Cobre about the upcoming no discharge policy.
We have written to most of the players along the Rio Cobre, and we have told them that we are going to be implementing a no discharge policy to the Rio Cobre, which means that you can have no discharge. So even if an accident happens, you won't be able to discharge here, because we're going to cut out everything. Any spillways you have, anything you have, it will not go to Rio Cobre.
The incident happened on Saturday between the communities of Zephyrton and Vanity Fair. NEPA is urging residents to avoid using the water in that section of the river until further notice. Reporting for the news on PBCJ, I am Denida Rodney.
Time now for the business report with Denise Williams.
Welcome to today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, here to bring you the stories shaping the financial world and guiding your journey to smarter business decisions. Let's dive into the top headlines. Grace Kennedy Group, the majority shareholder of Key Insurance Company, has made a takeover bid for the 27% remaining equity for $403.7 million at a price of $2.70 per share. The takeover for the remaining 149,521,334 ordinary stock units will open on March 24 and close on April 22. Grace is ensuring that adequate available funding is in place to ensure the financial completion of the offer in accordance with its terms. The finance and manufacturing conglomerate has internally generated resources that will cover the purchase price in full, including all expenses that may arise in connection with the transaction. Depending on the type of vehicle you drive, you may be paying more or less at the pump. Effective Thursday, the price of each liter of 87 gasoline and 90 gasoline will be increased by $2.34. On the other hand, diesel and ultra-low sulfur diesel will see $3.06 being shaved off their prices. Kerosene price will be down by $2.59. Propane will go up by 1 cent, and butane will see 25 cents being added to its price. Gas stations will add their margins. The Jamaica Stock Exchange reports that executives have been buying and selling shares. Fontana Limited has advised that a director purchased 141,000 Fontana shares on October 7, 2024, and a director purchased 47,203 Fontana shares on February 20, 2025. Pan Jamaica Group Limited has advised that a connected party sold 100,000 Panjam shares on March 18, 2025. Regency Petroleum Company Limited has advised that a senior officer sold a total of 398,319 Regency shares during the period February 12 to 20, 2025. For the trading period ending March 19, 2025, these were the most actively traded stocks. Pharmaceutical distribution firm Indies Pharma Jamaica Limited ordinary shares with 35,002,790 units traded, representing 74.03% of market sales volume. Regional Investment House JMMB Group Limited 7.3% cumulative redeemable preference shares with 2,380,704 units traded, representing 5.04% of market sales volume. Toll road operator Trans-Jamaica Highway Limited with 1,727,4 465 units traded, representing 3.65% of market sales volume. We now shift our focus to the Forex market rates set by the Bank of Jamaica. On March 19, 2025, the Bank of Jamaica reported US $51.13 million purchased and US $55.98 million sold by Forex traders. Forex traders earned $2.08 per dollar, selling the US at $157.66 and buying the US at $155.58. The Canadian dollar netted Forex traders 79 cents per transaction, with selling at $110.17 and buying at $109.38. The British pound yielded Forex traders $7.76 in profits, with selling at $204.89 and buying at $197.13. For our credit report tip of the day, bankruptcy often carries a stigma, but in reality, it can be a powerful tool for financial reset, especially if you owe more than $300,000 in debt. First, bankruptcy encourages smarter financial habits. One of the biggest benefits of bankruptcy is the financial education that comes with it. Many individuals emerge from the process with a greater understanding of budgeting, savings, and managing debt. Second, it helps you to qualify for new credit sooner than you think. Contrary to popular belief, bankruptcy does not mean you will never access credit again. In fact, many lenders are willing to work with individuals who have gone through bankruptcy as they no longer have excessive outstanding. And that wraps up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, reminding you that every financial decision is a step toward your future. Until next time, stay focused, stay informed, and keep striving for success. See you soon.
In regional news, as geopolitical tensions rise between the United States and various countries, the Caribbean is navigating the shifting global economy. Following the Donald Trump administration's decision to halt funding for international environmental projects, many vulnerable nations are at risk. On Wednesday, the Caribbean Development Bank unveiled a new strategic plan at its annual news conference, aimed at bridging gaps left by the U.S. and supporting Caribbean nations towards a resilient future. Belize News 5's Brittany Gordon reports.
Every year, tourism remains one of the largest contributors to economic growth in the Caribbean region. But the industry is at risk as the geopolitical landscape around the world begins to change. Countries like the U.S. have started cutting back on funding for environmental sustainability projects, which means that nations like Belize, that depend heavily on their natural resources, need to look elsewhere for financial support. That's why the Caribbean Development Bank, CDB, is stepping up, committing to another year of backing climate resilience projects throughout the region.
As we look forward to the future with all its uncertainties, but more so, its opportunities, I can think of no other word that encapsulates my vision for the bank than rebirth. Rebirth signals the bank's renewed focus on delivering excellence to the people of this region. We will practice excellence in each stage of every process, whether we are providing policy advice, appraising and implementing projects in our countries, or formulating country engagement strategies. As we support our Caribbean in the march towards the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals, excellence will be our hallmark.
Best explains that this new chapter for the bank will be guided by the theme, Rebirth, Innovate, Transform, and Thrive for a Resilient Future. Over the past year, the Caribbean Development Bank has funded several projects to enhance infrastructure and education in Belize. In February, the CDB supported the Development Finance Corporation in launching a consolidated line of credit to provide Belizeans with loans for education, renewable energy projects, and small to medium-sized businesses. Director of Projects, O'Reilly Lewis, highlights that thanks to initiatives like the coastal protection projects across the region, the bank has seen the second highest levels of disbursements and approvals in the last decade.
Belize has been one of our stronger performing countries in terms of implementation, and we are working to continue to build that. The other project I spoke to was with DFC, the Development Finance Corporation in Belize, which we are a traditional financer of, and they themselves credit us with helping them being in existence and being such an impactful company. We approved, I think it was a $20 million loan with them last year to deal with the MSMEs in agriculture, renewable energy projects, student loans. So all aspects of though that loan will impact several layers of life in Belize in a positive way.
A government-backed initiative has restored sight to hundreds of Antiguans and Barbudans over the past 6 years. In partnership with the Trinidad Eye Hospital, specialists continue to perform cataract surgeries at Sir Lester Bird Medical Center. A visiting team says the program has made Antigua and Barbuda a leader in regional eye care. Shanakisha Francis reports.
Antigua and Barbuda has become a beacon of hope for eye care in the Caribbean, so says medical professional Dr. Ronnie Bola, chief surgeon at the Trinidad Eye Hospital. Dr. Bola tells ABS's House Calls the Twin Island state's approach to eye care has positioned it as a leader in the Caribbean.
And I would say Antigua is ahead because it's leading the eye care drive in the Caribbean. And it could, as we see it, become a beacon of light for eye care in the OECS group. And if we achieve that, which is a goal, then patients will fly in to have surgery at Sir Lester Bird. And that's one of the goals that we're aiming for.
Hundreds of Antiguans and Barbudans have benefited from eye surgeries since 2019, when the Health Ministry entered into an agreement with the Trinidad Eye Hospital.
Since 2019, more than 850 patients have had surgery from this project, and that's something we have to really commend the Ministry of Health and Sir Lester Bird Medical Center for actually championing this work, this very important work for the population.
Meanwhile, Dr. Bola acknowledges strides made by the initiative in addressing the cataract challenge in Antigua and Barbuda. The Twin Islands state is now on the avant-garde in the region.
Because we've done it in Antigua so successfully, almost creating here a cataract-free zone, which is our goal here. And I think it's very doable under the Ministry of Health and the way they have been leading the eye care drive.
Dr. Bola says the vision does not end there. He is also focused on expanding the scope of surgeries offered in the country, particularly retinal procedures.
It's our main goal to bring that surgery here. If we are successful at doing retinal surgery, and it's not really an if anymore, it's going to happen, it means Antigua will have the most complex type of eye surgery that could be performed in the world, performed in Antigua.
He says retinal surgeries and vitrectomies are more complex procedures than cataract surgery, but is optimistic that Antigua can rise to the occasion.
Ghanaian yam is now being grown in Tobago as part of a scientific study led by the Office of the Prime Minister, CARDI, and the Tobago House of Assembly. The project aims to compare 5 yam varieties from Guyana and assess their growth and impact on local agriculture. Officials say the initiative not only boosts food production, but also supports the development of a yam festival in Goodwood, fostering cultural pride and economic activities. Carissa Douglas has the details.
On a recent trip to Ghana, former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley received a donation of yam crops. In February, a portion of these were planted in Chaguaramas, and on Tuesday, it was Tobago's turn. CARDI Executive Director Ansari Hussain explained that the yam planting project is a scientific study to compare the performance of 5 varieties of yam from Ghana.
We're going to measure the dry matter content. We're going to measure something what we call the harvest index, which is the tuber weight over the total biomass. We're going to calculate all that. We're going to collect data on the environment, on the soil moisture, fertilizer application, whether or not these yams succumb to any pest and disease in the Caribbean. Remember, these are new varieties in the Caribbean. And then we'll do the data analysis.
Secretary of Community Development, Joel Sampson, said the THA supports the project as it will equip farmers with tools and resources to improve agricultural productivity in Tobago.
This collaboration with CARDI to establish a yam germplasm bank in Tobago truly highlights the importance of global cultural exchange and marks an exciting opportunity for our agricultural sector.
Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, Ayanna Webster Roy, said she advocated for the crop production exercise to be conducted in Goodwood. She said the project will be particularly beneficial since the development of a yam festival in the village.
In sports, we go trackside with athletics. Jamaican sprinters Rohan Watson and Nishoni Banks, along with jumpers Jordan Scott, Romain Beckford and Raymond Richards, are set to kickstart the country's medal hopes at the World Athletics Indoor Championships in Nanjing, China, tonight, Jamaica time. On the opening day, all 3 rounds of the men's 60 meters will be contested, with Watson and Banks representing Jamaica in the sprint event. Scott will compete in the men's triple jump during the first session, while Beckford, an Olympic finalist, and Richards will take part in the men's high jump in the second session. In addition to the track and field stars, other Jamaicans in action on day 1 include Rashid MacDonald, who secured a bronze in the men's 400 meters last year in Glasgow, Scotland, along with Leah Anderson and Joanne Reid in the women's 400 meters. Women's shot putter Laudricia Cameron will also be competing. Over now to cricket, as the inaugural season of the West Indies Breakout League is rapidly approaching and anticipation continues to build following the recent announcement of player retention details by the competing franchises. Nasira Mohammed reports.
All 6 teams in the new T20 competition have revealed their list of 7 retained players prior to the player selection draft. To promote youth participation and fresh talent, league organizers stipulated strict age and experience criteria. Each franchise was limited to retaining no more than 3 players aged between 27 and 29. The remaining squad positions to be filled in the upcoming draft are exclusively reserved for cricketers aged 26 or younger. Adding a unique strategic element, Cricket West Indies has mandated that every team's retained players must include 1 leg spinner, underscoring the growing prominence of wrist spin bowling in the shortest format of the game. Player eligibility criteria were carefully crafted to highlight and nurture emerging cricket talent. All participants in the league must have limited professional exposure, specifically fewer than 40 List A T20 matches and under 10 international T20 appearances. The West Indies Breakout League debut season is scheduled for April 25th to May 10th, 2025, featuring 17 fixtures, all hosted at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy in Trinidad.
In football, the Jamaica Football Federation is confident that the Reggae Boys will reap substantial benefits from the appointment of former England under-20 manager Paul Simpson as their new assistant coach. Simpson, who led England to victory in the 2017 Under-17 FIFA World Cup, brings a wealth of experience to the Jamaican squad. His extensive knowledge of the game, both as a player and a coach, has earned him praise from the JFF, which sees his expertise as a vital asset in the country's preparations for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. JFF General Manager Roy Simpson expressed strong confidence in the new assistant coach's ability to contribute significantly to the team's development as they aim to build towards the global football event. And that's it for the news on PBCJ. Thanks for watching.